Welcome to Champ Talk with Branden Hudson. I, of course, am your host with Branden Hudson. And to my right is the unimaginable Chet.
I actually had one today.
You didn't have shit. You didn't have nothing.
It started with on. It was going to be uncomfortable. And so, yeah, there we go.
Okay, let's run this back. Welcome to Champ Talk with Branden Hudson. I'm your host, Branden Hudson, and we have...
Uncomfortable Chet.
Uncomfortable Chet. Here's why. I love doing this with you. For those that can't see, we're holding hands and we're sharing energy. This episode is brought to you by Brittany Ballard of Wealthways. Shout out to big Brittany Ballard. Old big Brittany over here doing big things for us. She's helping us with financial literacy. So you guys can scan the QR code at the gym, or we can put up a link, something like that. But she is she's an OG, and we really appreciate all of her support. She's all the way out in Dallas, Texas.
I love when she visits, though.
Well, of course.
Yeah, I mean, she's been like, what?
She's easy on the eyes.
3 times.
I mean,
yeah. Well, she's really smart and fun too.
Not to be all, sexist, but she's a good-looking woman, smart woman, strong woman.
Yeah,
does her thing. You know what I mean? All the guys have crushes on her. I tell them, listen, she's our sponsor. Back up. You know what I mean? But
you're talking about sharing energy. She shares her energy.
No, I'm kidding a lot.
Cool.
It's strictly
cool.
business. She comes down and she's helped out a lot. She's had a women's event. She's helped out a lot of our people at the gym. She's helped me out tremendously. I met her through Apex, this mastermind I'm part of that Ryan Stewman runs, and Brandon Brittingham put me down with, and I'm name dropping left and right. But
that's something super cool though. Like sponsor in Texas, but she's been here a handful of times.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, and she'll be back up. So shout out to her and check it out. If you guys financial literacy, planning for the future. Fun fact: it does not take a lot of money to make sure that your future is secured. You know what I mean? So she's way more equipped than that. I don't have any licenses or ambitions to want to talk about that, but she can certainly help you guys out.
Brittany Ballard, Wealthways.
There you go.
Look her up.
And then a big shout out to our Gimp in the box. We love how he or she, however they want to be identified, is always coming out of the box and making this thing possible and happening for us. If you would like to hire the Gimp in the box, I will let him or her or they be on retainer if you want, but you will have to talk to Poppy first. You know what I mean? It's sort of like a pimp-hoe relationship. So we just want to make sure that, we're honoring our single-handed baddest Gimp in the box that we know. So props to them and shout out to them. You know what I miss? I miss the little sounds.
I know. We got to get the sounds back. Maybe that's is that something I need to do or?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. I thought maybe
you need to do all the things.
Podcast in the box.
If you guys get value, out of this egregious episode, make sure
There's chances you might not.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe to channels. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on the Champ Talk with Branden Hudson is what you have to look up, by the way. But we're on Facebook, Champ Talk. We're on Spotify and Apple iTunes, or Apple Podcasts. So it's cool.
And newsstands everywhere.
Yeah. And that's what helps us get recognized and helps other people who may get value of our episodes some recognition and just getting it through the airwaves. You know what I mean? So how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Yeah. What's new in the world of chat? Tell the good news. You had a win for the week.
The win for the week.
I want everybody to hear this because I started off the first.
We're gonna do this shit all the time now.
Yep. I started off the first episode talking about your health. So because we're a show of accountability.
Okay. Just remember you said that. That's all I'm saying. Just remember you said that.
All right, bring it on.
Yeah, it was a great seminar.
No.
Yeah, had a great seminar.
Personal win for the week.
The win for the week.
Yes.
Because I lost 4 pounds.
Yeah. That would be the button that we had.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah, thanks.
Great job.
No.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how's that journey been going?
Well, pretty well.
I'm going to tell you honestly, dude, like immediately, like the first few days were I could tell that you were like kind of angry and hungry and all of the things. But then like after like 4 days, dude, you immediately, everything just kind of shifted for you. Like right away. Like, you've been eating better. You've been working out again. Just the actual
mortality does that.
Sure.
It's a motivator.
Sure. But the look in your face was actually one of the things, like you were just seemed like just a little bit more content and okay with life.
Overall. Yeah. With things going on in life right now. Yeah.
Good.
the shifts, the changes, and it's good.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. Happy for you. That's a big win. 4 pounds is a big win. For you people thinking about getting into fitness and so forth, you know, we want to lose 30 pounds. We want to lose 50 pounds. We want to lose all these. It's the everyday chip at it that makes a difference. It's not getting these big gains, because all of a sudden you get in here and you start something, you stay committed to it, and you win, you lose, you do everything in between. All of a sudden you wake up and you turn on one of those Facebook posts that say, a year ago, my overweight behind was sitting here eating cheese fries at my local pub, and look at me now. And you look at that person, you're like, oh my gosh, why didn't anybody tell me I look that way? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've jumped back on too. You were doing the what'd you do? The hard 75
hard.
75 hard.
So
and
yeah,
but I'm saying I don't know. I guess there's levels or phases or whatever to this, and you're back at it.
Yeah, bro.
I remember how fun it was for you starting last time around.
Some bullshit. I ain't gonna lie to you, dude. Like it's like, here's the problem. It's not the fact that I can't do it, not the fact that don't want to do it. It's the fact that when you have a crazy day and you look up and you said, oh crap, I didn't do my 45-minute outside workout, my 45-minute inside workout. I didn't read 10 pages. I didn't meditate. And it's about 11 o'clock p.m., which happened to me twice this weekend. Yes, that is 75 hard is a if you guys don't know what it is, I know a lot of people that listen do. Andy Frisella, he has a podcast, you know what I mean, called I think it's Hard AF podcast. I probably should know this. I'm name dropping. He's the owner of First Form supplements and stuff, and he created 75 hard, and a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of people do it. A couple of guys and gals at our gym have done it. And what happens is basically you download an app, and it's an accountability thing. You follow the app, and you do the things required, and then you document it. And what was cool about it is I needed like a jump start to kind of get me. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Well, I know a couple of things. Let me back up. I've been making too many fucking excuses, right, as to why I don't take my fitness as serious as I should. Another thing is just realistically, like, that's not my priority to be shredded, right? Like, I want to be shredded. I like the look of being, nice and fit and shredded. But for me to spend hours in the gym over spending hours in other areas that are priorities, that's just not where I'm at. I work out all the time. I do my thing. I train. I lift. I do all the things. And I just, for not as dialed in as I needed to be for my fitness and my food. And, some of those things weigh on, I'm not going to lie, some of those things weigh on my insecurities, and weigh on my conscience of, I'm in the gym, I'm doing fight training, I'm surrounded by nothing but, fit bodies and people that are like in shape. And not everybody's like that, but that's what my eyes attract to, because the only way that I see myself in peak shape is if I look like, the days when I was ripped up for my fights, right, which is not obtainable at all. So it's something like, I want to look the look too. It's I want to feel healthy. I want to be healthy, but I want to look. I love a six pack. That's what I've always thought was the baddest thing ever. And so I found myself struggling. I'd say maybe about 10, 15, maybe about 8 months ago. Where I needed to just jumpstart myself and get fit. And I had heard about 75 hard, but I kind of was like, dude, I do 75 hard every day, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Well, I kind of threw it off like everybody else. I was like, if you need that.
That's kind of when you started talking about it, everybody started talking about it. I was like, well, how much is it? Especially people that train all the time, and you have your training clients as well. So you're training when you're training clients and you're teaching classes and fighter practice. I'm like, well, how much more is there to do? And then when you kind of started laying it out, I was like, holy shit, this is. Yeah.
And that's what I was saying.
That's where the hard part comes from.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to get to that. You're spot on with where you're going. And it was, but that's how the attitude I took. I said, if you need that to get yourself to that point, great. I think it's a great thing. I think it's cool. But for me, I was like, I do it anyway. And typical arrogant, thinking I know it all, Branden. That's been the freaking Achilles heel of my life, everyone. You know what I mean? Anywho, so my wife and I are literally coming back from a tournament on a Sunday from, it said DC, but really it was in Virginia, deep in Virginia.
2 hours past DC.
Yes, yeah. And we live on the east shore of Maryland, so DC is 2 hours from us. Add another hour and a half to that. And it's nighttime, it's late, it's a Sunday tournament. Oh, it was hell. And I was like, you know what? I'm just tired of feeling, the way I'm feeling. I've gained some weight. I'm just like, even though I train and do all the things, I want to look the part. I want to be back dialed in. We're doing 75 hard tomorrow. Well, I said, I am. You can do it. And, of course, Bethany's a rider. She's like, okay, let's go. Oh, my gosh. Boy, that was not thought through very well. I did complete it the first time. You know what I mean? I finished it the first time. I don't cheat. You know what I mean? It's very important for me to do it. But here's where I'm going to that ramble. So I noticed about day 9 to day 11, right? I was like, oh, shit, this ain't got nothing to do with fitness. This has absolutely nothing to do with fitness. It's more about how much you don't realize, for me, this is what I realized, how much you don't realize you're leaving on the table and how much you're not really going all in and hard as hell every single day. So I saw that and I was like, Jesus, dude, like I've got so much more in the tank, so much more capacity here. And I'm making excuses because at 75 hard, you had to do, I'll run through the list, 45-minute outside workout, 45-minute inside workout. Then you have to read 10 pages every day, drink a gallon of water, stick to a diet, no cheat meals, no alcohol. And there was something else in there, I think, that I don't know off the top of my head, which was like very doable. I was like, that's no problem. Then I realized as we got into it, I was like, oh yeah, this has nothing to do with fitness.
With these things, with fitness, it's
Yep. So I accomplished that, and of course,
it's another mindset thing.
It's mindset. It's a realization. Of course, it's accountability. It's realization. It's like, oh yeah, you're bullshitting, and it dials you in, dude. It dials you the fuck in. Like I'm like, holy crap, like yeah, this is the version of Branden that I really admire and I really like to be, and that I strive to be daily. This is the one that is going to get me where I need to go. And so I kind of went through the summertime and was like, we're not going to go so hard on the summertime because I think I ended it in like May or June. And then, fell back into some of them habits, had a great summer, drank a lot, ate a lot, traveled a lot. And then, I got back, to this point where it's like, it's time. I've literally been on a plane 1 or 2 times every month this year, except for May and June. And that's not common for me. You know what I mean? Like traveling is common for me, not that much.
Right.
So I've seen things diminish. I've seen, the quality of my work diminish. I've seen the quality of my results diminish in the, gym, with the gym, at the office, with other things that I want to do. And I mean, but there was a necessary evil. Majority of those things were for business or were for, speaking engagements or something like that. But at the same time, I've seen the diminished returns on the other areas that needed my attention, like my businesses and stuff. So I did 75 phase 1, which includes a 5-minute cold shower every day.
No thanks.
Yeah. And that's not my favorite thing to do. But it showed me again where just I'm bullshitting and leaving so much on the table. And here we are. So I took about 7 or 8 minutes to talk about just that. But it's me, I like to explain things. It's the full vision and full picture. But it's been helpful, man. It's been cool to dial it in. It's been cool to dial in with you and your journey and stuff like that. And, we had a great seminar this past weekend. Jeff Mitchell, shout out to him, from Elite Jiu-Jitsu. And, he came in and
I've been thinking about that. One, it was a really good time.
Yeah.
And everybody who attended, super cool. If you didn't make it, couldn't make it, just going to say you missed out.
You did.
Big time.
Yeah. And if you ask me, like he said, if you asked me what we learned, I forgot. You should have come to the seminar.
Well, there's seminars, but luckily we've got some video to go over. But it was awesome. I was thinking about it all weekend. Just love picking up new things like that, or twists on the old, or all of the above. But definitely a great seminar. Yeah,
we try to do a seminar at SBY MMA at every quarter, and again, it's been just a crazy year for me, man. It's as far as all the things that I've needed to do to grow and to grow my business and make this thing happen. And it's something that when it happens and you get into a seminar and people show up, you realize, this is why we do them quarterly. Oh, this felt so good. Oh, wow, and things like that. So yeah, shout out to them. And it was a great time, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being your partner because I'm just a clown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You might not enjoy it, but I enjoy it.
Well, the first couple minutes, I was like, this son of a bitch. It's going to be like, I got 2 hours of this bullshit put up with. Like, come on. Busting my nuts the whole time. This is touching my. This is what it's going to be the whole time. No, it ends up being really fun.
Well,
I've kind of felt bad for everybody else
because they didn't have as much fun.
Yeah, because they had to listen to our bullshit.
Yeah,
as they're trying to learn.
Dude, I tell you what, man, you're
the best though was when you asked if everybody. Jeff said, "Hey, everybody, you're going to grab some water or take a bathroom break." When he was switching from one kind of lesson to the next, and you're like, "Yeah, we better because he really needs to go pee."
You did.
I was like, "Thanks, put it on me." That's great.
I don't know that mine and Chet's relationship's going to last much longer. He's literally here at the gym with me all the time, gets calls from me all the time. Back in the saddle with the podcast at the Maryland and Delaware group of VXP with me all the time, and now you know what I mean.
Well, the seminar you said something about we're not best friends, but we're getting. I said not after today, probably. I'll be your partner, but yeah, screw you, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. My heart is in the right place.
I know it is,
but I'm just.
Your heart's always in the right place. It's just your mouth, your hands, so many other things are just not sometimes.
Dude, I'm speechless, dude. There's nothing I can say right now. You're so right. I'm such a bad person.
No, you're you're a great person.
Oh man, no, I am. But I do some bad things to you.
Just off the wall sometimes. It's all right.
It makes it fun though, man. And that's like the environment at SBY, man. We have so many just interesting people here, man, and so many interesting conversations, and you don't know what I'm going to say next and how that stuff's going to come out, but ultimately, man, it's the same. It's business as usual, man. It's the same thing, like it's crazy to think about how it started, but it all started from simply, I'm going to help people. I'm going to help people become the best versions of themselves, as well as I'm going to work on the best version of myself. And what I thought in the beginning, when we were in the back of fitness clubs and rolling out mats and the 100-degree and 20-degree attic that we would train in, what I thought this would look like ended up being nothing like what it's turned into. It's turned into something really beautiful because it's no longer the Branden Hudson show. It's not me I still lead from the front. I'm still the faithful leader. But it's more so everyone else is bought into the culture and they're bought into what we do. And, everybody, the one thing that I've had to realize being in the gym space, especially with all the bullshit, right? Because there's a lot of bullshit in every industry, but, here locally in the gym space, there's just been so much, and people that listen and follow my content, they're fully aware. There's been so much, fuckery that goes on all the time because you're dealing with people, and whenever you're dealing with people, people are going to people. You know what I mean? And you're dealing with people that necessarily don't share the same exponential ideology that you do.
Right.
Those big words meaning they have a scarcity mindset, not an abundance mindset. And that plagues all of us, myself including at times. But what I realize is that everybody has their own model and their own ways that they do things. We have ours. You know what I mean? And, I think that the culture is number one. It's number one. Like, who wants to go to the gym? First of all, like I literally had to own a gym to go to the gym every day,
right?
To hold myself accountable. Who the fuck wants to get off work, go to the gym? It's an investment in yourself, right? We all know that. We've all been told that. Health, eat right, all that. We've all been told that. It's an investment in yourself. On top of that, who wants to go sweat in somebody else's mouth? Not that I'm trying to not sell you on the gym, but just think about that. Like going in there and getting punched in the face, going in there and not worrying about the punching in the face, but doing the non-contact classes that we have and, just working out. Like that's you're you versus you. So you're pushing yourself to the limits or the coaches every day.
And I got to say too, with that, keep your train of thought.
Yeah.
I think about those, like the non-contact and the conditioning classes, and a lot of the people that take the classes had some conversations with them that, it's an MMA gym. However, I think those are some of the biggest and most influential success stories.
Oh yeah.
For sure. With a lot of the conditioning classes, just know where people started, where they're at now. And of course you get to know everybody a little bit, and some of the things that, that have nothing to do with getting sweaty and punching a bag, the conversations that come up and just where it's helped them in so many areas of their life. And from things that are seemingly small to some really big stuff, like the biggest things you can think of that would affect somebody's life. So I just got to say that about, if anybody is under the misconception that, it's just a bunch of guys in here beating each other up and, doing some tournaments here and there, it's the furthest thing from what actually goes on.
Yeah, we have that too, but it's certainly not the norm. And like you were saying, I never really realized that it was going to turn into this and turn into such a place where people like in the conditioning classes and like in the non-contact classes, and your most unsuspecting, cases where people, really literally changed their life here.
Yeah.
They literally changed their life here. They literally rearranged their life. And to all the people out there that's quit the gym, left the gym, got mad at me, whatever, right? I know for a fact, regardless what you got here, you're taking with you in other areas, other gyms or other areas of your life. And I'm happy for that. Mm-hmm. It's not, we're not going to be the cup of tea for everybody. It's just, that's just human nature. Like there's people that absolutely despise me that have never sat down and had a conversation with me, right? That's okay. You know what I mean? It doesn't make a difference to me regardless of who likes me or who doesn't like me, right? I don't care about that shit. I don't care about, I'm focused on the people that were here that are showing up that need my attention, not the people that, left or hate me or all that. I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit, right? That doesn't mean that I haven't, had to, be the alpha male and step into the room and express my disapproval of some of the actions and things I've seen in the past. And the good, bad, or the good, the bad, or ugly, I could have handled a lot of things differently in certain areas, but at the same time, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm in a space right now, bro, where I'm over people and their little bitch assness, right? Like, and I don't mean like haters and shit. I'm just talking about in general, right? And I'm kind of getting off topic here because this is just where I'm at. But, we have too many cases where we just let bullshit happen because society is now kind of shifted to, well, they're expressing themselves, or they're underage, you can't hit them, right? Or all this stupid shit, right? And I'm going to be 100%, like, it's all stupid shit. Like, what happened to the day and age where you just check a motherfucker for, the way that they act? Like, I'm no longer in a space where I'm allowing people around me, especially, or even in other areas, to behave in a manner that doesn't exemplify integrity and respect and things that we should be. Because here's what I know. The shit that we see online is exaggerated and polarized.
Of course.
Right? We see small pockets of incidents that now gains the massive attention and attraction for people to believe that that's how life is everywhere you go. Does not mean that there's not bullshit that goes down. Does not mean that there's not issues and problems that we have in this country or in the world. But majority of us don't deal with that type of bullshit on a daily basis. And I say this because I travel across the country. I talk to business owners and entrepreneurs and salespeople and solopreneurs across the country from other areas, from other countries on a regular basis. We don't experience and endure some of the bullshit that you see online on a daily basis, right? And where we at as a society is so many people are so scared to speak up in fear of being canceled, which I can tell you right now, I don't give a fuck. Cancel me. I don't participate. How are you going to cancel somebody I don't participate, right? I don't care. We should be able to make fun of ourselves. We should be able to make fun of each other in a conducive way, in a comedic way, not in a hurtful way, in a discriminative way. You're never going to end racism or discrimination or any other kind of bigotry or biases. It's great to work on it. It's great to have a view to try to stop that. But you're always going to have some person that has been taught to not like another person for whatever reason, right? Whatever movement that you have going on at the time. There's always going to be another movement that's going to replace that when that dies out, because that makes people money. And if I can keep you fearful of that person or mad at that person, vice versa, I can make money off both. What did Jordan say? Republicans buy Jordans too, right? When he went through all his controversy with the sneaker game back in the day, and y'all watched the documentary. You're never going to end none of these things, right? You can work on them and become better humans, but at the end of the day, most of us don't deal with some of the polarized bullshit that goes on a daily basis. But we've been conditioned by the few little spots of things that we've seen online to not call people out on their bullshit, right? Not call people out on their behaviors, accept behaviors in fear of, well, what if this person doesn't want to be around me anymore? And I've dealt with this. I'm talking from sheer experience. I've dealt with this shit in my personal life. I've dealt with this shit with family. I've dealt with this shit in my business life, where I don't drop the hammer until I'm fed up and had enough. And then what happens is then it's a big blow up, and then everybody gets in line, or everybody, I'm the bad guy, or whatever the case may be.
I think part of it too, and this is another branch of that, well, maybe not even. I mean, another thing is, and not to be, blissfully unaware and not caring, but when you can let shit go and go, you know what, just like you make the point, well, these certain things aren't going to change. I'm not dumping any energy into this person over here. I'm sidestepping this, and I'm just going to smile at him and go, okay, you have a good day, and shake my head and go on, because that can be exhausting too. Like, I don't have to call you out on your bullshit. Your bullshit is going to be there today, tomorrow. It's been there. Nothing I say or do is going to change that. So I'm just not even going to participate. I'm not dealing with you. I'm on something else over here.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a play for that as well. I think that can get confused with when you need to do that, because I've taken that road so much that sometimes I miss that opportunity when I needed to check somebody. And here's the thing about checking people. You don't check people without any kind of consequences, right? Most of us that had a mother and father in the household, or even, whatever your dynamic was, usually speaking, and this is just for context of the relevance of what I'm saying, I used to get away with more with my mom than my dad, right? Because my mom would bend the rules, because mom had to deal with me all day, right? Dad didn't have to deal. Dad went to work, came home, right? We didn't see dad 9 to 5 or 6 to 3. We saw dad after hours and on the weekends. So mom was the one that had to deal with us all the time. So, mom's dealing with, 4 kids. She's going to yell at you and tell you, get your shit together. Then she's going to bend the rules, because that's what mothers do. Most mothers do that. Not all. Don't go canceling me, wink, wink. But
pick your battles.
Yeah, but they will, right? Because they're nurturing, and most mothers are trying to get you to understand they love us. We're their babies. We came from their womb. But I knew if dad said it one time, I needed to buckle down, right? I knew I needed to pay attention. I knew I needed to straighten up, because if dad said it, or if my mom said she was going to tell your dad, remember when you spent like the last 45 minutes of the time before dad got home trying to make mom feel so good?
Because she said those.
Please don't tell dad.
She said the dreaded words. Wait till your father gets home.
Hey mom, do you want the flowers cleaned? I'll clean whatever you want, right?
Dude, my dad would have a way of just looking at you and his voice that I'd look at him. I'm like, can you just hit me and get it over with? Because you're terrifying me right now. And all he was doing was talking.
Yeah. My dad used to take the belt on both ends and slap it together. I mean, we would be shook, son. We would thought we got beat. But at the end of the day, if you're going to check people, right, then you got to make sure it's going to come with some consequences that you're going to follow through and keep your word on.
Oh, yeah.
Not some consequences that you're going to say, well, if you do this one more time, or if you do that one more time. No. I'm no longer letting people just kind of mosey through without any kind of consequences. This apologetic society that we live into, it's great that we can forgive. I think America's really good at the comeback story and, letting people redeem themselves. But then also America's really, really fucked up, because we demonize every little mistake, and it seems like there's no room for error, as if people aren't going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. I've made many mistakes. I continue to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes as a leader. I'm going to make mistakes as a father, as a husband, all the above. So where do you ride with that person when you make the mistakes, and how does that look, right? What does that look? Well, society's so quick to demonize you, walk away from you. We talked about that when we were talking about loyalty, and then wait till you redeem yourself in somewhere and say, oh, I always knew you could do it. My point is, I'm no longer letting people get away with that bullshit. If you're in my sphere, you're in my family, you're my kids, you're in my gym, you're at the office, you're anywhere remotely in my sphere, or if you're just a stranger that just needs your fucking ass whooped for some reason that you are violating other people's rights or peace, hey, I might have to take the charge. But it's no longer going to be the situation where I'm allowing people to get away with that bullshit. And I think the listeners and viewers should feel the same way. Stop letting people get away with shit. I had a little incident over the weekend where, these young kids ruined a whole fucking event. And majority of the event were elderly people and families. And it was a family reunion. These young kids sat there and got a little intoxicated. They ended up getting fighting with each other. And then, okay, cool. I mean, for real, if I don't have a family reunion that people don't get fighting at, it's probably not really my family. But at the end of the day, that went on and it ruined the whole entire event. And I'm looking at these kids and I'm like, why has nobody whooped their ass yet? Why is nobody beat their ass? Like, it's so funny. Everybody wants to be gangster until a real gangster shows up. Then everybody's like, oh my gosh, what happened? Why did you do that? How could you do that? Oh, you were... Yeah, everybody wants to be tough until a real tough guy walks in and slaps his fucking dick on the table and says, enough is enough. I might have had to do that this weekend, right? Maybe not. Well, allegedly, we'll never know. But my point is those kids got the point and left after that happened. Why are we doing that more? We cannot no longer allow people to have excuses in their lives and their traumas in their lives be the vehicle that they drive through life so that they can continue to make mistakes and not live up to the expectations that we expect from them. We expect a certain standard of living out of ourselves. We expect a certain standard of living from other people. We expect people to honor those commitments and those codes. It's unspoken, but I expect you to respect me and you expect me to respect you. And if I get out of line, that's cool. I don't need to be jumped down the throat. But if I stay out of line, I expect you to check my ass, whether you have to hit me upside the head, have a tough conversation with me, give me some ultimatums or some consequences, or to stop being my fucking friend. And that's the way that we need to be conducting ourselves as a society.
And for a lot of people, it's, you understand they didn't get from, A to B overnight, or because maybe there were certain situations, factors, whatever. But at the same time, it's like once you realize that, it's like it's on you to do something about it. You can't stay in that spot, stay in that space.
It's all about choices.
I mean, at some point, you can say, well, I had a hard life and this happened and that happened. Okay,
who didn't? And
yep. So give me your 20 minutes of okay. Now what? Now what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. Who didn't? We all had a hard life. Last time I checked, everybody's been through some bullshit. Everybody's been through some shit. And if you can think about all the bullshit that you've had to go through and overcome, and think about, damn, every one of you, every motherfucker listening to this right now, yo, think about all of the shit that you've been through in life, that you've gotten yourself through or somebody else helped you get through, that you've been able to overcome. Think about that. Think about all the things that you've overcome and you're still sitting here standing, still being who you are today with the fucking face, with all the things, the scars, the triumphs, and think about what you've been through. What, do we just fall back on the...
Well, think about how many times somebody did check you and you're thankful they did.
100%. What, do we just fall back and say, oh my gosh, my mom died. I can't no longer live life. I got locked up. I had a drug problem. My spouse left me. We're gonna just fall back on that bullshit. So, I got on a little bit of a tangent, but the reason why I brought all that up is because that's what you get at SBY. Like, that's what the beautiful part about the gym is that we're at, is we check people on their bullshit and people don't like it. And that's why a lot of people have left. Like, full transparency, majority of the people that have left and have said something bad about me, first of all, has said bad about whoever they're talking to at the point when they're talking about me. Because the thing about me is I have my fucking receipts. That's the thing. I can admit my mistakes. I can stand on any platform and admit my mistakes. Majority of people that talk bad about me have never sat down and had a conversation or done business with me, or they didn't like the accountability.
And they've also been that way with everybody else in their life
they got away
at
with
some
it.
point.
And they got away with it. And that's the thing is, I got the receipts, dude. There's a reason why I'm aligned with so many successful people, successful business owners that live by true integrity and core values. There's a reason why. There's a reason why SBY is standing where we're at with 10,000 square foot inside of the best #1 fitness club, probably in the state of Maryland at this point, and Delaware, and also has been able to thrive in this environment and live up to their standard. There's also a reason why we produce champions. There's also a reason why we have so many people talk great things about us. This does not come from fucking selling snake oil, guys. Because here's the thing: when you're doing bullshit, when you're doing business and doing life on lack of integrity and lack of morals and only worried about money and only worried about this and only worried about that shit only lasts but so long before people recognize that you're full of shit. Look at what we're going through right now. All these influencers and all these social media people and all these people that had all these money and all these things and all that. Look at them. Where are they at now? Back working 9-to-5 jobs, back doing these other things, ripping people off. There's countless examples of these motherfuckers that have been just shitting on the people that they ripped off and sold that, yeah, you can do this and you can do that. You can make $1 billion in 6 months. Okay, guy. Yeah, okay. Look at all that. When you build your businesses and your life on a lack of ethics and good core values, eventually that's going to come to the light. It always does. So you don't be 10 years in business like myself and 10 years in the gym like myself. Not saying I'm perfect, but saying I'm a fucking champion at heart. I'm a fucking champion at heart. You don't build that with bad ethics and bad morals. And some people just don't like the accountability. Some people don't like the fact that they came to my gym and they had a certain goal and they had a certain outcome and want for their life, and we held them to that standard. Because we have a standard that we hold ourselves and each other as coaches and as employees and as leaders. We held them to that standard, and then they didn't meet that requirement, and then they didn't like that. They want that quick fix.
But that's your fault.
And that's their fault. Now, there's things as leaders we can always do better, but personal development is a full-time job. There's no time off. If you stop growing, you start dying. The minute you start thinking that you're to a place in your life where you stop growing or you cannot learn anything else, you're beginning the death season. You're beginning a time of being stale. You stop getting life lessons and punches in the mouth, you start dying. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm so proud of with SBY, because I didn't know it was going to turn into that. I didn't realize that this is what the culture and the community looks at. I mean, you're a prime example of that. You just quit your fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
You just quit your fucking job. Your job had benefits.
Yeah.
Your job had comfortability, familiarity, friends. You've been there for a long time. And he said, this is not the play no more. This is not Chet Cornman's Uncomfortable Chet. This is no longer the standard that I want to live my life at.
Right.
And nothing against that company.
No.
Great company.
I've said that from
100%.
Yeah.
But at some point, you have to say what's best for you.
And that's ultimately, yes, because what's going to be best for me is going to be best for everybody that that I'm influencing, and not an influencer way, but in life, my kids, my family, my friends.
Impacting.
There's
Impacting. There you go. Yeah, and let me ask you a question, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Is this path easier that you've went on?
Is it easier?
Yeah.
No, I think the familiar is quote easier.
Yeah.
It's not easier. It's another challenge.
Correct.
For sure. But there's also something, refreshing and invigorating about that too.
Really? But why I brought that up is you're a manager here at SBY, and you're a 4-stripe blue belt. You're not competing. You don't you don't have the fitness mindset of I need to be in the gym for my gains. You're a prime example of somebody who's just here to do what you're meant to do, and you stepped into a role to help out the club that you believe in and the person that you ride with, and even you, because of this room, I'm not saying that you have no credit for it, but because of this room that we're in, even you said, the standard that I live at this moment will no longer be the standard that I'm going to go after tomorrow. And you made significant changes in your life, and you're on a path that's more difficult, that's unfamiliar, that's new to you, that's a bigger challenge to find that.
Yeah.
That's what I meant when you talk about what happens at SBY. It's not just the guys and gals that are competing or rolling on the mats or the kids. It's every fucking body.
Yep.
I have so many parents that DM me on a regular basis that don't go to this gym as far as participate. They have their kid that will tell me that because of my shit, my content, my culture, my coaches, my place, not all about me, but just the things that I'm responsible for and lead, it's helped them in their lives grow. You've had it.
Yeah.
You've had it. That's the shit that
I continually get the texts and messages all the time.
all the time. And that's the cool thing that you get from us. This isn't a sales pitch either. We're just, it's a lot of these are organic. We just kind of organically throw an idea and just let it go. Unless we've got a main agenda we really want to hit. But at the end of the day, this isn't a sales pitch. This is just reality. Like, there is nothing like what we are building and built here at SBY MMA and Fitness. There's nothing like what we've been able to produce. I love combat sports. I love jiu-jitsu. I love winning. I love competition. I love kickboxing. I love MMA. I love all that shit, right? I love watching our guys and gals win. I love that shit. I love fucking running the scoreboard up and bragging rights. I love that shit. That's who I am. I'm a competitor by nature. But I also love even more people finding out how great they truly are, or finding out the talents and the skills that they really have that they never thought in a million years were even there. I love that. I love watching the light bulbs go off. I love watching my people just grow, win. I love watching my friends win. And I ain't even mad at my competitors or enemies winning. That don't bother me. When my competitors are winning or they're up or whatever, because everybody shares a different hat. The hat goes to one person where you got the juice, then the next gym. And I love that. I'm not inferior about that, because you know why? Because that means I'm on your ass. That means I'm coming for you. That means I'm no longer running the scoreboard up like I used to. We're kind of just winning on a regular basis. So now, okay, let me get back on my shit. Let us do some things. That's the beauty of growth as humans. And that's why you can have a guy back in the 60s run a 6 or a 5 flat 40-yard dash, and somebody say that'll never be broken, and then you got somebody breaking it at under 4, right? 25, 30, 50 years later. It's always going to be an evolution in all areas. So it's cool, because I never thought that SBY would turn into that. And I love that, dude. Like, if there's anything that's more, I love business, Chet. I love business. I love winning in business. People say I'm about the money, right? This is one thing I want to clear up. A lot of people be like, yeah, Brandon's all about the money. He's trying to sign up mad members so he can beat the number. You fucking right I am. You absolutely right, because I despise a business owner or a leader or an entrepreneur who says, I'm not worried about money. You're not worried about money? Well, what about your employees? I think they're worried about money. They may say they're not, but the minute you start messing with their check, all of a sudden they've got a big issue, right? You're not worried about growing and giving advancement opportunities. If you don't have money and utilize money as a tool and the leverage that it is, you cannot follow through with your mission statement that you claim you want. My mission statement is to improve the quality of life of everyone around us through mindset and fitness. If I don't have the bills to pay the fucking house to do that and grow, then I'm not helping everyone. I'm only helping a few.
Well, what do they say? Money's not the most important thing, but it influences everything it is, right? I mean,
yes.
And how true is that? Yeah, and you'd be selfish not to. It's
who says I'm only worried about money? The broke motherfuckers that no longer get my money. Let me tell you that. The people that tell me I'm only worried about money and I'm only worried about business are the same motherfuckers that are crying broke all the time, ripping people off. That's a fact. Yeah. You could document that. I got, again, I'm not even gonna get into that, but I got plenty of receipts that says that that's a fact. Those are the people that say Brandon's only worried about money. So, in closing, sign up to SBY MMA and Fitness. Seriously. Change your fucking life. Take control of your fitness. Take control of your life. Be around a group and a community of people that are going to support you, open arms, that are going to help you become the most elite version of yourself, that are going to come and help you be what you want to be, because none of this stuff would have been possible. None of this stuff wouldn't have been possible if I had never walked into my buddy's garage, or excuse me, my buddy's home dojo. I apologize. I don't want to none of this stuff would have been possible if I didn't walk into my buddy's home dojo and say I want to lose weight and say I want to change my life and start training. That decision that I made has the ripple effect of now thousands of people listening to us on a podcast right now. Fucking freaked you out, didn't I? I said thousands. Your butthole puckered.
Well, I was thinking, we're thousands that have come through the doors over.
That's another thing. Thousands of people. We have, what? We can't even keep count of how many waivers and contracts we have. All of these people that we have, the speaking across stages in the country that I never thought I'd be in a room like that. The gig with the Maryland and Delaware group. I never thought I'd be in a space like that. Like all of these
like the people that have been here too, like people that's because everybody's a kid to me. The college kids,
Yeah.
But I mean that have they've been here maybe a year or two, whatever. Maybe the whole time they've been at SU or something,
Yep.
and then we're still in touch, and you see what they're doing now, and it's just. I mean, somebody that visited the other day, I was like so happy. I wish I could have spent more time, just for a brief conversation. And then when they come back to visit, just see where they're at, and what they're doing. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I love watching some of our former students move on to do bigger and better things and become such great role models and great leaders. So that's what you got, man. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Y'all know where to find us. Message me if you have any questions. Like I said, engage with us on the Facebook page. If you guys want to talk, comment, engage with us. If you guys please could like and subscribe, a review for our podcast goes big. But if you did get value out of this, or somebody that will, share it. Talk to somebody. Let us know. Message us. Tell us what we could do better. What we did for. What would you like us to hear? We love what we do, and I think I speak for Chet. We got the best jobs in the world.
Absolutely.
So, I appreciate you guys so much. Tune in next week to our episode. We got them weekly. And what are y'all doing today to become a champion?